welcome back. And this video is going to be a bit long, and it's gonna be more about just doing upgrades and the actual fight because it's the return of the god, and it's one of the more difficult. I think one of the most difficult missions in this game because of how many people you have to fight, and then you have a combination of a really fast, like a fast enemy, and an enemy that can take damage and give tons of damage at the same time. So yeah, it is tough. Took me a lot of time. That's to actually defeat this level. But it will give you a really nice chance to collect a lot of Umbretta and level up accordingly. So I think it's a nice thing. I think you will have a good chance on collecting a lot of Umbretta because the first volume of attack is not really that difficult, per se. Yeah. So the first will be one of those big axemen and a shooter. It's always really important to deal with a shooter first, and then soon enough, I think, within 1 minute, I think, around 1 minute, or have to give some amount of damage to either his character or the gunman. The revenant will appear with a spear. The second wave is 2 revenants. One with a heavy weapon and one with a tool sword. The third wave is again 2 revenants. And when one of them, one quick one and one heavy one with Kusarigama and one with the axe. And when you defeat one of them, another revenant comes up, who is more like it's a dual sword terminal, so not really that difficult. And after you have beaten all these people, to the fourth wave you have with 2. Oda Nobunaga and his retainer Yasuke. Obsidian Samurai. Yeah, you have to deal with all of them one by one. The first and the second are relatively easy. The third one you have to learn their moves, per se, because they are much quicker and did much more damage. And after you have beaten them, Oda Nobunaga will take some time. Now, I was able to collect a bunch of Umbretta. Well, me able to, do it myself 3 times. these are reverends and thing with this. Way that I want to deal with them is to please the game just that way it helps me to, use this attack to shove them and throw them up in the air and attack them. And I find that to be very useful. I've tried to do this with all the 3 enemies that I face. And it seems to have worked for me. Almost there, almost there. There they come. Yep, these two are a bit difficult because of how they are. They shoot really fast. They attack. One attacks really fast and another deals a lot of damage. So it's easier to, stagger the axe one because of how much key it uses to use the axe. So, but the other one, he's fast. You have to be careful that he has a smaller life. That makes it a bit easier. So instead of throwing them up in the air, just stagger them and throw them on the ground. And then you can shove them with your spear. That helps. And it's important that you, instead of focusing only on one, just keep on attacking both. Because that really helps. Especially when the next enemy that will come, the double spear one, Revenant, and try to block the shots as well. Both of them use its gun. That definitely helps with everything in the situation of how you are fighting them. It's a bit slow, but it definitely works. That much I know. Here I was lucky that I was able to kill them both at the same time. There are chances that you may not be able to. Because of the sudden appearance of the third one, it's always recommended to decrease the life as much as possible of both of them before finishing off one. You don't want them taking more life, and that causes a bit of a trouble. Because that lengthens the fight and increases the chance of you making enemies stick. You don't want that. I feel like this one just took some life. He could have been just finished right now. But now it will take a bit more time. Because it took some life. And I took some power pill. That definitely helps. The problem is both of them comes together. Taking a power pill or a carnage when at the start of the battle especially helps because you can then keep on attacking the Obsidian Samurai because even though he has a bunch of life, he is much easier to deal with. In this current stage, it's easy to stagger him, and that allows you to deal a lot of damage to him. Sure, Ola Nobunaga jumps and comes right near you quickly. the way I'm playing this is like, staggering one, keeping my focus on one. That definitely helps. Yeah, I was lucky that I was able to avoid it. Once Obsidian summarized it, when his life is like near end, I try to use my living weapon. His moves are predictable and easy to stop. They usually just, I was able to stagger him. Now I can just throw up in the air and deal the damage. That's how I've been dealing with it. Be careful not to put your back towards Sword and open up as well. Once Obsidian summarized that with them you can use Sloth Talisman on Gourd and deal with him, as well as use some Spirit Stones to gather your to allow you to use your cleaning weapon as well. And you can shoot him in the head as well. That's what I use. When he's running into his new elemental form, just shoot him in the head, and that definitely helps with the situation. Or use your talisman as well. Those also work. and that's how you do it. Yeah, it was difficult. It was really difficult. It's very important to focus on one enemy and finish them off before dealing with the other one. Choose whoever you want to deal with, be it Oda Nobunaga, when they Obsidian Samurai. One is quick, has small alive, one is a bit slower and deals a lot of damage and has a lot of life. It's your choice, but it's better to focus on one enemy at a time and deal with them. And use your living weapon when you know that if you use it, you will be able to finish one of the enemies, and because that really helps. With you out in that person, you won't take much damage. You will be able to give tons of damage to the enemy as well. So yeah, that is really important. And you will get tons and tons of stuff from him. Offer them in the shrine. Get Amrita. You know. That definitely will help you with getting more Amrita, putting some spirit stones in your storehouse, but with yourself. And elixir as well, which I think is a very important thing to have when dealing with such enemies and such bosses, and they will come in the future as well. Well, I hope you enjoyed and see you in the next video.